Hey, you know Pooh, Roosi Who. Now, what I want to talk about is all the good things that Mr. Roosi Who did. And he did do some good things. He did. He showed us the beautiful areas around Dumaguete, and he drove far out showing us all the beautiful mountains. He would ride his bike right up to the mountains, and he would find places that no one had been to. He showed us a lot of beauty in the Philippines. He showed us the small villages that people live in, the way people live. Not for 1 second did I ever class that as exploitation. No, I just thought it was, an insight, a window into seeing the way people live. And he got on with people fine. He was very polite. He was very, courteous to people. The more popular he became, he was more generous to people. He would just give money. He wouldn't give like loads of money out. He would just if he was buying something, he would give a tip. And he was very generous to the barber in Dumaguete, who had just opened a new business, and he gave him a gift. He gave him 5,000 pesos, and I thought that was really nice of him to do that. Also, when he used to go and get his haircut, he'd give a good tip. He'd give 500 or 1,000 pesos. So he did a lot of good. He spent a lot of money in the community. When he had the bike and he was buying parts for his bike, and he spent a lot of money on new tires and oil changes, and he was, and he'd be generous to people, and he spent a lot of money on the takeaways. I bet that takeaway restaurant where he was spending 1,000 to 2,000 pesos every day, now they've lost one of their best customers. You spend a lot of money in the supermarkets. He'd buy like 10 of this and 10 of that, cases full of the sparkling water. He did not drink alcohol. He did not smoke. Okay, he did a vape, but he didn't smoke pure nicotine. He did not drink alcohol. He only drank the soft drinks. I think a lot of this negativity, a lot of this poison has literally been blown out of all proportion. For the people who followed him, really followed him, there was his loyal supporters who would stick up for everything he did. There was the people who would maybe come in once in a while or just find his channel or comment, and there were the people who would criticize him, criticize the irresponsible things he did, like me. I would do that. I was called a hater and jealous and whatever. I don't class myself as a hater. I was just pointing out the irresponsible things that he did. Sometimes I liked what he did. Like I say, I think he did some really good things as well, he showed people the life that these people were living in the slums, and I used to think to myself, the reason he goes up to the mountains is because there's no copyright up there. If you hang around in the town and with a YouTuber, the one thing that you have to try and get out of is places where there's music, because there's a lot of copyrights, and your channel all your filming could be ruined if it's if there's any copyright issues. So I used to think to myself, he goes up to the mountains because there's no people playing music, and so he hasn't got no copyright issues. When he got generous, he used to give money to people, but I do not believe that he was giving money for any particular alternate, seedy reasons or anything like that. Like I have said, and I will say this again, I do not believe that he sexually abused anybody. I believe I've said before that I think it may have been inappropriate with those women in the waterfall, maybe touchy, and you know, his driving, it was irresponsible. I made a few reports to YouTube, but that's as far as I went. If anyone else complained any further than that, that was up to them. You know, nothing to do with me. But I've been called really, you know, really horrible names by the loyal people, just because I found some of his actions irresponsible. But he did a lot of good things. He was giving big tips to people, and not for any seedy reasons, just because he wanted to, because he could afford to. You know, he was making a lot of money on YouTube, and he could afford to do this. Okay, do you know what? He made that comment about the Filipinos. I think maybe was it one time or two times? I don't know. I only heard it the one time, and yeah, he shouldn't have said it. It was a silly thing to say, and even to put it on his channel. When he handed the vape to the kid, he should have edited that out, but he didn't. Silly move on his part. And you know, all the waterfall stuff. I'm not going to go into all that, but all I'm going to say is he did some good things. He did. He did love his son. He loves his son. He loves his son, and his son loves his father. And it's terrible that the son may not grow up with the father. And you know, I've experienced that in my life. I know what it's like not growing up with a father, not having that role model. So I know, you know, I really do feel sorry about that. And I hope there can be some resolution there, because I believe, I really do think he could be a good father, and he could turn over a new leaf. You know, what I would suggest is that his YouTube channel gets wiped clean, and he starts again with his wife and his son, and he does everything by the book. You know, maybe you know, maybe there's a chance for him in the Philippines, in a different part of the Philippines. You know, I hope there can be some resolution for the son's sake. I'm saying this, and you know, anyway, that's all I have to say today. So I'm just saying, you know what, he did do a lot of good things, and I think this has been made an international story based on a few comments and you know, innuendos and whatever, flirtatious, you know, and you know, it's really been blown all out of proportion. Thank you. Please, if you want us to, thank you for watching my channel. Yeah, I've made a lot of hours out of this, and you know, and that's why I'm doing this, and that's why we do YouTube. We do YouTube to bump up our hours. I'm not monetized, but I'm hoping to be one day, and you know, I hope to see you all again. Bye.